Ms. Eisner, 5
Thank
minutes.
you. I am going to begin, first of all, Adele Eisner, Cleveland Heights, Ohio. As I stated, per ORC 3505.21, as an official election observer, I am going to ask for possibly slightly more than 5 minutes. I certainly don't want to ramble on. But I do want to give this board, I'm stepping outside of my normal role as a public person here, but also the additional role of just giving an overview of some things that I observed as an election observer as appointed by the local Democratic Party.
Ms. Eisner, I will reel an additional 5 minutes, so you'll have 10, and want to certainly suggest you supplement anything with written comments.
I plan to, Mr. Hastings, and I certainly do plan to, and I'm not going to go over everything. But I do, and don't be scared off by this big tablet. I just grabbed it, and it was a wonderful table for me to be able to, I write really big, so it provided a good source of hard surface. First of all, I want to thank the staff and the board for a really wonderful experience as an election observer. It gets better every time. The amount of transparency that this board provides excuse me, to the public normally, and then to people who are election observers is, well, to tell you the truth, I'm the envy of activists across the nation. They let you into the tabulation room, you know, and it was wonderful. Thank you all for your help and for answering questions and for the escorts around the building, which I agree are very necessary for observers. It was also a pleasure to see what a fabulous job the staff continues to do. Increasingly fabulous. Every time it gets better. And as far as I'm concerned, for as long as I've lived, I don't think we can ask for any better vector than, you know, you start out good and you keep looking for how you can get better and you do it. So my hat's off and a big thank you. From that perspective, I want to start out by saying, probably, I don't know if some of you did read the first blog that I put up about election night, but I am shocked. I'm just shocked by Diebold Premier's performance. I've been standing here since 2004, actually 2005, and I could say, well, you know, I told you so, not you folks, but that's what I've been standing here about. And I'm starting back from the last statement that was made about Diebold Premier coming in and making and doing their R&D about what happened. I've heard that once too often. I heard it about the EMPs, and they thought, oh, it was no problem that our staff had to go out and retrieve machines. You guys don't even know about that. I do have that on film too. But they thought, no problem, you know, go out election night and pick up the machines. And then they wanted to engage our staff in finding out what the problem with these card uploaders that actually downloaded to, which is very dangerous at the very end of an election, to have a piece of equipment that can upload information into the tabulator, but can also get information from the tabulator. I think that is absolute non-computer security, but in the end, the EMPs failed. The tabulator failed. It's one of the same problems that has been noted across the country. I, as a taxpayer, and as someone who's been standing here saying, look at this, it's not operable, it is filled with security holes, I, as a taxpayer, urge this board that before Diebold comes in and analyzes the problems with our tabulator, that number one, that we set out, that you set out rental fees on Diebold. Lord knows we have paid millions of dollars from taxpayer coffers that could have gone to the homeless and to Metro General and millions of dollars have gone from taxpayer coffers into their pockets. And even at the official count, it was wonderful that Archibald Williams was there, but no one else from Diebold even bothered to come from Canton to say, because they probably knew what was going to happen and they didn't want to be seen, just like they went behind the tabulation room so their cameras wouldn't be seen. It is time to start saying, look, you guys have financial liability to us. Charge them rental fees on our equipment. And I would really recommend as well that maybe from the Secretary of State's testing, take one of the computer experts who already has seen Diebold code and has seen maybe Matt Blaze, if he's there, borrow him for a day from Columbus and let him oversight what Diebold is doing inside our machines. We cannot just trust these strangers inside of our elections. Regarding the corrupted memory cards, that was found by ESI. In the ESI report after the May election, the same problem was found. That's a very dangerous problem. Ask any computer expert, not knowing what would take a configuration file and dump it in the trash, but finding out that the software is doing something to those cards when the election is ending. Something is just, that is the operative dangerous word. And to find a card that would all of a sudden 11 days later after not having been touched go from something, from being able to be read to something is very dangerous to elections. I want to point out that yesterday it was put up on Bradblog and confirmed that the city of San Francisco, the county, actually has filed a lawsuit against ES&S. The lawsuits are beginning to pile up around the country. It claims breach of contract, fraud, numbers of things. And that's following on the heels of Secretary of State Bowen in California is just about to also release a lawsuit against ES&S. There's a nationwide movement to recall all the voting machines because they should be recalled. Diebold, Premier, I don't care if they can't sell their company. But we are not going to, to sit here and say, well, we need to change technology. We need to get straight. Who's going to pay for that technology? We've already put out $20 million, approximately. Who's going to pay for that? Not the taxpayers all over again. Where's Diebold's responsibility? So, and I heard about the encoder card problem in Seven Hills, causing the people, poll workers. It's not, when you think about it, they're trained for 4 hours. What can a person remember? They're trained well for 4 hours. And what can they remember until they go, they have a manual, but they start seeing lines, they get panicked, They're normal people on a one-day mission-critical stint, and they have been decimated in the press, especially after last May's election. All poll workers' fault. Here are these people working for $8 an hour, trying to do their civic duty, and they get decimated, and they have no voice to defend themselves. Well, it wasn't the poll workers' fault. I really urge this board to go back to the transcript of board meetings, I hope they're here, from May 3rd, 2004, where Mark Radke, our regional sales rep, and I believe I can't remember the other person he brought. I don't remember if Singleton was the one who came with our attorney from Benish Friedlander, who was trying to negotiate the contract. And they stood, and look at the contract. Look at the transcript. You'll hear Mr. Coxon asking questions. Well, why? Here it says, when California decertified you he didn't say the first time, in 2004, Kevin Shelley put in writing that this company, Diebold, is despicable. Their behavior is despicable.
You have 1 minute. Yeah, Dr. Dell.
Thank you. And they behave deceitfully. Do not let Diebold into our machines. And please go back and see May 3rd, 04, where they also promised we can take care of a county as large as Cuyahoga. They can't. The GEM system crashed. It was failing on memory resources every time another program ran underneath. Before we say let's change systems, please let the technology committee get together and let's not rush into a whole new ball of wax. Let's get something that's really secure. And that would take some thought, a lot of thought, with a lot of hand-counted, at least, audits before elections are certified. Thank you very much for your time, and I will submit a written report.
Thank you, Ms. Eisner. Appreciate that. Mr. Kuzman is here.